You know, when I thought about the snap count this week, I thought, okay, no big deal. Chase Brown was heavily utilized and his production went up drastically. Obviously, Chuck Sizzle, we saw him in that game. He was overthrown for a touchdown when he was wide open. He did have one catch in the game, second catch of his career. And I was excited to look at his snap count. And then I looked at the snap count, and now I'm just more confused than not. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Chase Brown, right? And it seemed like, because looking at the snap count now, but then in the moment of watching the game and feeling what's happening, it felt so much different than what the snap count shows me. So the snap count, as you can see right here, Chase Brown finished the day with 13 snaps, which was 19% of the offense, which was less than last week. Last week, he had 18 snaps and 30% of the offense. This week, 13 snaps, 19% of the offense. Now, this week, we actually had, I think, a couple more snaps than last week, which is a little bit different. And obviously, this week, we did run the ball, I think, 30 times total versus last week, which I think was like 33, 34 times. Nonetheless, though, 13 snaps in this game, so less than last week. Travion Williams, his snap count went up +3 from last week, up to 4. Now, this is not really anything crazy new. I mean, if you look at his snap count throughout the last couple part of the season, he was, getting crazy good snaps. Then, obviously, Chase Brown comes back, and his snap count has diminished. I still will say, and it's my personal opinion, I don't want to see Travion Williams out there. I really don't. When Chase Brown is out there, he looks like he could explode for a 60-yard touchdown on any given play. He's exciting to watch. And it's because he's a rookie, right? But it's also because he has fresh legs. He has that explosive speed. I know what I'm going to get with Travion Williams out there. Whether he catches the ball or runs the ball. I know what I'm going to get. Whenever Chase Brown touches the ball, I never know what's going to happen. Same thing with Joe Mixon. And that's what I love when Joe's out there or Chase Brown's out there. In a perfect world for me, I would love to see 50-50. Both of these guys getting even snap counts because they deserve to get even snap counts at this point. Now, Joe Mixon, his snap count went up +11, which was 70% of the offense in this last game, which again, like I said, maybe I'm crazy, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like every time we were on offense, there was no Joe Mixon. Obviously, he was stretching out on the side, after one drive, and it felt like he wasn't out there at all. Instead, he was out there 70% of the offense, which, again, looking at it in the game, watching the game, it didn't feel like he was out there as much as he actually was, which was crazy. And, again, Chase Brown, it felt like he was always out there, but no, not the case. So now let's go down to the wide receivers. This actually surprised me, and it's almost like a point where watching the game, you see one thing, you think one thing's happening, and it's not. Chuck Sizzle, even when Jamar Chase went down with injury, he only had 4 snaps in that game. 2 of those were targets to him. So that's the kind of goes to show, when he is on the field, he's going to get targeted. And one was obviously overthrown, and it ended up being an incomplete pass. And the second one was a completion on a screen pass. So 2 times this guy has caught the ball. 4 times in this game he played. And 2 of them obviously were catches. Now, of course, he does play special teams too. That's beside the point. But special teams is definitely up there for, a little bit of a snap count. But 4 snaps total. We're never going to utilize this guy on offense. It's just not going to happen. And I'm kind of realizing this more and more as we get closer and closer to the playoffs here, that Chuck Sizzle will forever be the punt returner, and we do not have Tyler Boyd's replacement. We're going to have to go get another Tyler Boyd replacement somewhere else because it's not Chuck Sizzle. And it's not because he can't be. Okay, I want to stress enough. It's not because he can't be Tyler Boyd's replacement. It's because Zach Taylor and Brian Callahan, they don't want him to be Tyler Boyd's replacement. He's the punt returner, and he is the punt returner, period. There's no end of it's the end of story right there. Yoshi actually had a very high snap count of 18 snaps, which was 26%. Highest since he's had since week 12, which is interestingly enough. Trent Irwin, 14%. He had 10 snaps, which actually is the lowest all season. So he had the lowest snap count all season, and a lot of that is because Yoshi got a lot more, snaps than Trent Irwin, which is good. We want to see that. We want to see Yoshi and Chuck Sizzle being utilized more in this offense. Kind of get the new faces in there, see what they can do. T. Higgins had the most snaps of any wide receiver at 61. Tyler Boyd, 57%. Jamar Chase, 71%. Tight end wise, Irv Smith in his revenge game was tied with the least amount of snaps. Tied with Mitchell Wilcox at 17 snaps apiece. And of course, Tanner Hudson had 25. Andrew Sample had 40. I mean, at this point, listen, you're going to put the guys out there who gives you the best chance to win this game, right? That's just, it's simply how it works. The best chance possible to win, you're going to put out there. Now, DJ Reader's out for the season. Sadly, he only had 2 snaps in this game. 2 snaps, and he's out for the season, just like that. But we did see a lot more snaps from Zach Carter and Josh. Both of them actually played pretty good in this game, and BJ Hill had his career high of 87% of the snaps. And he really took over with an interception. Back-to-back weeks getting an interception. Let's go, BJ Hill. Miles Murphy. Whoo. He had his second highest snap count day of the year. 40%. 27 snaps, which actually ties his second week 10 when he had 36, but, amount of snaps in the game changes. 27% or 27 snaps is his new second highest of the year, behind 29 snaps. And to be honest, listen, he played good in that game. He didn't play perfect, but he played good. He made his tackles when he needed to, and he was able to get us, help us get them off the field as much as possible. And with how our defense played in that first half, only allowing 7 points, getting 2 defense turnovers, overall-wise, I can't complain. Obviously, our defense crumbled in certain drives, but hey, listen, we won in the end. Doesn't matter. Joe Bacci was absent for last week's game, so that man Devin Harper had his first snap in the NFL, for us at least, of the season, and yeah, he didn't do anything with it, but he definitely played. Also, Marcus Bailey had a snap, which is, that's the thing. We lost Poison Ivy for the year, and man, it sucks so bad, because that's another guy who, with us potentially losing Cheeto after this year, it was another guy who could really step up, start playing good football, and potentially be a replacement in the future for, Cheeto. It's not going to happen. And Poison Ivy now is going to be, again, like I said, out for the season. We're not going to have a chance to see how good he can play and what he could be or what he could have been. He has 31 snaps on the season. And then finally, we have let me go ahead and take away my face here. We have the other ones here, which is Nick Scott. We have Dax Hill, Jordan Battle, and obviously Tyson Anderson out. And overall-wise, same thing as last week pretty much for Jordan Battle. Just absolutely that strong safety, dominant strong safety. And Dax Hill's that free safety. And Nick Scott, 9 snaps in the game. Obviously, yes, he'll be rotated in and out of different, defensive schemes, but it's really done with him. We have him for 3 years. Kind of sucks we signed him for a 3-year contract, because now it's pretty much GG for him, but, it is what it is there. Guys, definitely tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, though. Overall-wise, man, it was an interesting game. Man, I cannot believe we won that game still. I am still happy about winning that game, just because of how crazy it was. And, how much it means to us to win that game. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions.